Now in the past, we used to shoot our clients' videos with Nikon cameras. Seriously. They were good cameras actually, but the Z6II's autofocus was not very good. And besides, the secondary DSLRs that we use, right, the Nikon D5600 entry-level cameras, they don't have continuous autofocus, so shooting some client work is just impossible. And that's where we decided to move on to Sony cameras fully in 2021. So now, how many Sony cameras do you think we'd have? Hey, it's different, Colin. And let us show you the full range of the Sony cameras that Lens use and their capabilities. At Team Lens, we have a total of 5 Sony cameras. They are the A7S III, the A7 IV, the A7C, the ZVE10, and the ZV1. Now I first talk about the features in each of these cameras before I share how we use them. Oh, you might want to go back to episode 1 of this series to see the shootout that we have done with the A7S III, the A7 IV, and the A7C to compare their capabilities. Okay, first let's talk about the sensor in each of these cameras. The sensor for the A7S III is a full-frame CMOS type with 24.2 megapixels. The A7 IV has a newer full-frame XMOR-R CMOS sensor with 33 megapixels. The A7C, right, though compact in size, has also a full-frame XMOR-R BSI sensor with 24.2 megapixels. You've seen me talk about these 3 cameras in episode 1. Now the other 2 cameras, which are a lot more compact. Our 4th camera is the ZVE10, which has an APS-C XMOR CMOS sensor with 24.2 megapixels also. And then the last in our arsenal is the ZV1 with an 1-inch XMOR RS BSI CMOS sensor with 20.1 megapixels. So clearly, these 2 cameras are not meant for most of our work use. Today, the ZVE10 functions as a 4th or 5th camera when we have event shoots that need a large count of cameras. It's still useful even if it's an APS-C camera, meaning it is not a full-frame camera. But because it is an interchangeable lens camera, right, we can still mount a good glass on it to have quality pictures and videos. Now the ZV1, however, is purely a compact camera that has a smaller 1-inch sensor. It doesn't produce as good a picture quality in terms of bokeh, especially, and low light also, and it cannot swap lenses. So ever so rarely, right, we can only use it for like spy shots in commercial malls that don't allow shoots. But honestly, the ZV1 is mainly on my desk functioning as a backup webcam, sitting next to the ZVE10 as the main one. So okay, next on to the focus capability that each of these cameras has. The A7S III has an evolved 4D focus system that has a combination of 693 phase detection, which covers about 93% of the frame. And it has also 425 contrast detection area. Now it has a very capable lock-on IAF which continuously tracks and follows the moving face or object. Now the focus square can be found on the subject's eyes unless the person covers his face or turns away from the camera. The A7 IV also has a very good fast hybrid AF system which covers 94% of the image area and incorporates 759 face detection points for quick and accurate focusing in a variety of lighting conditions with sensitivity down to -4 eV. Now in our use, right, the IAF is as good as the A7S III's. Sometimes I feel like it is even a tad better as it locks onto the subject's eyes really quickly. And the specs even suggest that the AF recognizes color, pattern, and subject distance information for high accuracy and focusing speed. The A7C, though having a compact camera form factor, is also as capable. It has the same fast hybrid AF incorporating 693 face detection points along with 425 contrast detection areas in the A7S III. The autofocus locks on the subject using real-time AI-based tracking on moving subjects, which works on both humans and animals. Now, Sony's AF is really the reason why we switched from our entire line of Nikon cameras and lenses. Now, even the smaller and cheaper Sonys don't disappoint. The ZVE10 also uses a fast hybrid AF system which incorporates 425 face detection points, covering 84% of the sensor field and achieving focus in as fast as 0.02 seconds. Also, it has a blend of both face detection and contrast detection methods to achieve a great focusing performance that's natural, accurate, and really fast. In other words, this small camera's AF is similar to all its bigger full-frame brothers, with seamless tracking that works almost all the time. Lastly, the ZV-1. Even though it's a compact camera, right, it also has the same fast hybrid autofocus system, but incorporating less face detection point at 315 and covers a significantly smaller 65% of the frame. However, when locked, the AF still performs as expected of a Sony camera. So with autofocus so capable on all these 5 cameras, right, why don't we use the ZV-E10 and the ZV-1 for our client shoots? Well, the answer, aside from the bokeh that I've discussed earlier, lies in this third factor that we are comparing, which is the max video resolution that each of these cameras has. The A7S III allows 4K recording with multiple frame rates ranging from 24 FPS to 120 FPS. At full HD 1080p recording, right, it is also supported to up to 240 FPS. What's justifying the nearly $5,000 price tag of this camera is the ability to shoot at 4K 60 without any crop and at 422 10-bit sampling. This means when we are shooting short films, right, this is the only camera we can reliably use. The A7 IV also allows up to 4K 60 10-bit recording using the full width of the sensor, but the picture gets cropped by 1.5 times, which makes it into a crop sensor camera like the ZV-E10. Not so good when we need to shoot wider shots. But when we are shooting at 4K 30 or Full HD 60, the output is still as good as the A7S III, especially during daylight or in brightly lit scenes. The A7C allows Ultra HD 4K recording, but only up to 30 frames per second. At Full HD 1080p, right, recording is supported up to 120 FPS. But unlike the A7 IV, this camera can only do 420 8-bit sampling. But through the HDMI output, an optional external recorder can record 4K recording with 422 sampling, but only up to 8-bit. In other words, this camera isn't really suitable for short film productions. It's only good for simple interview videos or most bureaus work. Next, the ZV-E10. Seriously, these small cameras also has 4K recording with a frame rate of up to 30p. Full HD 1080p recording is supported in frame rates up to 120 FPS. So bit sampling is limited like the A7C to only 420 8-bit. Also essentially, right, this camera differs from the A7C mainly due to it being a APS-C camera with everything cropped by 1.5 times. Lastly, the ZV-1 is also able to record 4K video at 30 or 24 frames, but it has a party trick in which it can shoot up to 960 frames per second for the ultra slow-mo shot. But the resolution is seriously compromised. Anyway, this camera is good for vlogging and it's so lightweight, but for clients' work, well, you better think twice. Okay, the last comparison, which is the form factor and the design. First, the A7S III sports a professional body design with a vari-angle touch screen LCD, larger battery, and dual memory card slots that accept the very expensive CF Type B cards that record at seriously fast speed. The grip is awesome and it feels just right in the hands for both video and photography. Weight-wise, it is also hefty enough for professional use. The A7 IV has virtually the same body as the A7S III. Well, at least 95% of the time. It is slightly smaller, so the cage for the A7S III cannot be used for this cam. Other than that, everything feels exactly the same up to the flippy touchscreen and the EVF. But on this camera, it only accepts one CF Type B card. Not that we use that a lot also. In case you need to know, it accepts two cards too. The A7C has a sleek and portable design to it, and well, that's why it is more of a compact camera than a professional one. Well, it is made more for everyday usage. But even though it is small, right, it comes with a solid body with pretty comfortable grip, especially with a cage attached. It has a similar vari-angle touchscreen LCD monitor, but it doesn't work for the menu. It only works for the spot focus on the screen. The ZV-E10 is perfect for bloggers in my opinion. It is light and feels like a small A7C or the older Sony A6000 series of APS-C cameras. But unlike those, right, the screen here is the flippy type, perfect when you have a mic attached on the top. I also think that it has a good grip with the shutter release button and the power zoom lever on the top. But ergonomically, right, I keep toggling this lever thinking that it is the on-off switch. Oh, it has a front tele lamp too. Now lastly, the ZV-1 is designed for casual videography with a compact body with a retractable lens. It too has a flippy screen, a tele light in the front, and also a rather comfortable grip. My main gripe with it, right, aside from the lower performance and capability, is the battery life. The camera can probably last 45 to 50 minutes of continuous use with its very small battery. Okay, so there you have it, the 5 Sony cameras that Team Learns own. Which one is your favorite? And if you have one or more of these cams, what do you use them for? Let me know in the comments below, will you? Now, if you think that we have helped you in your decision on which camera to get, hey, help us to like this video and subscribe to our channel, okay? And make sure to turn on notifications too. Anyway, this is the last episode in the series of 10 shootouts. Which episode is your favorite? Well, this is Differenter Colin signing off for the last time now. Why be different when you can be differenter? I'll see you soon.